everybody, what's going on? This is Joshua Williams. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to finally talk about... Let me do that again. Now today what we're going to do is we're finally going to be talking about my review... Now today we're going to be talking about my review of the 2016 Powerpuff Girls Reboot. I want to kind of make this video a bit shorter, so I'm going to have to try to get through this as quickly as I possibly can. So with that said, let's just jump right into it. Now, before, when I made this video, my first thoughts on the Powerpuff Girls 2016 video, I did happen to talk about how I thought the show was going to be good, and I was excited about it and all that kind of stuff. I will say that when the show first came on, I think there was just things that I was doing and I wasn't able to even watch the show when it was actually airing. And I had no idea that it was like a bomb airing of this series either. I didn't know that it was going to have new episodes every single day for 2 weeks. I had absolutely no idea about that. For me, it was a little hard to keep watching the show, or hard for me to just watch it anyway, because first of all, I lost my excitement when I missed it. You know, it just happens. When I miss certain things, I kind of lose excitement for it. But I was kind of reading some other people's reviews and other stuff, and at first some people were saying, or first one person who I follow on Facebook, he was saying, oh man, I like the show. This show is turning out to be pretty good so far and all that kind of stuff, right? And then Pie Guy Rules, he made a review of an episode. I forgot which episode it was, and he kind of talked about how he thought that the show was looking pretty good so far. Then I have noticed that it's all started going downhill. So many people started saying how bad the show is, the animated errors, so many things. And I was honestly just wondering, wow, is it really getting that bad? I mean, it's funny because I was thinking, oh man, it's probably just the 90s kids, you know, the 90s babies talking blah 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 blah. But I then ended up like watching some of the episodes of the show, and yeah, there's problems. There's definitely problems. I will say certain things that I do like, and it's probably not a lot, to be honest with you. One of them, well, first of all, I do like that there are voice actors that did reprise their role for the show. Mojo Jojo, the mayor, the narrator, even though the narrator does sound different. Maybe because Tom Kenny is older, I guess. They mostly came back and reprised their roles in the show, which would kind of beg the question, why was it that the Powerpuff Girls didn't reprise their role? Like, why didn't E.G. Daily, Tara Strong, and, God, how can I forget the last person? I guess what they wanted to do was kind of make it seem as though the girls are a bit older. Just quickly say that the voice actors who are doing the Powerpuff Girls, they aren't bad. Bubbles, she could be better. Blossom, I'm totally fine with. Buttercup, no, I'm sorry. I said I was gonna get used to her voice though, but it's just not possible to me anymore because I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like the voice actress, because I'm sure she can do some other great things as well. She could probably use that voice that she's using for a boy character, but not for Buttercup, because it just doesn't sound right. I also like the theme song of the show. I mean, the theme song is incredible, really. I mean, I like the song itself, and I like the visuals that the show came up with when it came to that show. I think it's animated by a different company or something. I'm not sure. That's what I heard, but I could be wrong. You know, honestly, as much as I like the theme song, this is where the whole thing of things that I don't like start coming in. The theme song kind of lies to us. How? Because it shows the girls flying around the city, beating up on these older villains, not the new ones, the older ones that we all used to know and love, right? They don't do that. I feel it's more about what they do in their normal lives somehow, instead of what they would be doing in this saving the world. There's not a lot of episodes where they're saving the city or anything. Like, let's be honest. I'm barely seeing any of that. The villains in the show. The new villains, honestly, I don't have a lot to say about them. And it's also because I really do not care about the new villains. I really don't pay attention to the new villains either. My thing is, why did they include the old villains if they're barely going to use them? That's like a little confusing. Another thing to also mention is the characters of Bubbles and Buttercup. Blossom I'm not going to mention because really, I don't really have a problem with hers. I mean, yeah, she is a bit more uptight and she's probably a bit more like organized and stuff and all that kind of blah blah blah, but I honestly don't have that much of a problem with her. The ones I do have a big problem with has to be Bubbles, because Bubbles is not that cute, innocent little girl you used to see on television. She's now, you know, she's so into the memes and the pop cultures and the yas. No, it's time to stop. And Buttercup is a bully now. That's how I see her, you know. I honestly see Buttercup as a full-blown bully. And, you know, in the original, I see all of these girls and they were completely likable, and I would always like to see them doing whatever they're doing on screen. Like, I always like to see them in school, at home, you know, saving people, fighting crime, and doing all that kind of stuff. Now, when I see these girls on television, they're unlikable. I mean, Blossom is the least one that I do not like, which is kind of weird to say anyway. The art style of the show just seems to be very, very, very mixed up. I can't tell what kind of style they were going for. You can't really particularly say. In my personal opinion, I think it was just like all these people wanted the show to look a certain way, but then the one person who, like the creator, saw this and it was like, oh, you know what? I like all of these things. Man, we should probably just try to mash them up together, and I think that'll make a beautiful masterpiece. It just doesn't really look all that good to me. You know, I mean, it doesn't look horrible, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. Now let's get to the animation. The animation, in most parts, it's okay, but the animation errors are just way too much. Animated errors are gonna happen. It's unavoidable. It's just the fact that there is just too much, and it's just all stuff that I think an animator would look at and think, oh, that's not right. That's wrong. I need to fix that. The biggest one for me had to be like where Mojo Jojo was talking to the girls when they were like elderlies, and he was talking to them across the street. He has a dog with him, right? And for 2 seconds, the leash disappears. Literally, like, I think for probably more than 2 seconds, but like, you see the leash, it doesn't cut to anything. You just see it, and then boop, it's gone. Now, the last thing that I do want to go ahead and mention, and yes, I know there's a lot of things that I didn't mention about how Miss Bellum was taken out, and how, for some reason, Miss, what's her name, Keen or Clean, doesn't have any boobs. That makes her look weird, and I don't understand it. Or, you know, the whole problem with the episode Horns, Sweet Horns, you know, that huge controversy. The only thing I have to say about that one is, the fact that it wasn't supposed to be what the creator said it was going to be. It wasn't supposed to be a transgender-based episode, and it makes no sense for the creator to say it was. Because the writer was writing this with a completely different idea, and the creator just took it and said, oh, you know what, we're gonna make this into a transgender episode. And it makes absolutely no freaking sense. But yes, my last point about the show has to be with Teen Titans Go, their crossover with Teen Titans Go. Honestly, I am really, really convinced that the reason why the show exists is because so they can have a crossover with Teen Titans Go. Because let's be real, I think it is way too early for the Powerpuff Girls to even have a crossover with anything, because they just went on air. So in conclusion, do I think that the show is awful with all the things that I said? No, it's not as awful as Teen Titans Go. I'm gonna point that out right now. With Powerpuff Girls, I just don't think it's good. It's not good. And I'm not saying that it's not good because it's not like the 1998 version of the Powerpuff Girls. No, I'm saying it's not good because of the fact that there's just a lot of things about the show that just really doesn't work, like, by itself. And that's the problem. I think the show is trying to do something, but by itself, if it were to be that it never was a reboot of anything else, I'm not even sure if this show would actually work, if I'm honest with you. If you like the show, that's totally fine and everything like that. Of course, I never judge anybody for liking a show that I personally don't like, but you know, it's just my opinions, and that's all I can really say. Now, before I officially end this video, I would like to give a shout out to Alexander Rivera, who is actually editing this video today. And the reason why he's doing this is because I'm kind of testing him to see how he does. Because I've seen some of his videos, he sent me some of his videos that he edited himself when he would do like a review. And it seemed, and it looked like it was pretty good, and I was like, you know what, I tried to do some things like him, but it didn't particularly work, so it was like, you know what, why not? I'll let him take over. So that's where I'm going to end this video today. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for even more content. Now, before I leave, I do have 2 more things I do want to say. Of course, subscribe to my good friend DJ Honeybun, Javon Willis. His link is in the description box down below. And second, I am going to start doing some Q&A videos again, but do not start asking questions yet, because I'm going to make a separate web page so you guys can start asking questions, so that can be easier for me to find. But until then, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys had a good day. Peace out. Thanks for watching.